like so do you guys like work on a council in the morning that comes up with how you're going to proceed for the day, and then there's just kind of like
so I wrote cleaning up after yourself as the first thing on the agenda. But, you know, I mean, it kind of gets filled up through the day, and then, you know, we bring it up.
Everybody that lives in one of these houses right around here stopped me and said that, you know, everybody that's been here has been very quiet and very clean. And she was really happy about, you know, how well people were taking care of the park while they were cleaning. So,
that's so good,
so far,
because we have been working hard at it.
Yeah, at least one person who lives right here is very happy with how things are going.
Good, good. Well, I'm trying to, it's worked a few times. I'm getting people when I go, you know, a few blocks to go to the bathroom, getting people to pick up garbage on the way there and on the way back.
I picked up a big bundle of garbage just on the way to the bathroom.
Yeah, yeah. So
like not on the park, but
exactly.
Park is concerned, but I think that if you guys do that, what you're doing as far as picking stuff up are concerned, they'll probably never say anything. Because you know, usually when there's like weekend parties at football games, that's the biggest concern that neighbors have is people who have parties.
Well, I was wondering if you could tell me what this program is all about.
Well, first what I think a lot of us are trying to do is realize the truths of the lies that we've been, or misrepresentation instead of lies. How about misrepresentation that we kind of happen to be finding with those elected and those in higher positions to make a change. And right now, I think a conscious thing on a lot of people's mind is we want the change, and they're not making it. So we need to voice it, and we need to voice it continually and unedited. It's going to take a lot of perseverance and a lot of patience to kind of get everything understood. If we can get all the truth out there, we can make wiser decisions of how we want this change to actually begin to manifest. And we, I think that...
Can I ask you another question? When you're saying change, what exactly are you talking about change?
Representation of our resources actually being used to sustain a living and viable culture, healthy culture.
The reason I'm asking these deep questions is because I have to inform a class.
Oh yeah, change is a word that leaves a lot of obstacles of change. I mean, right now I'm changing a leaf to another place.
Yeah.
But what we're really asking is the ability to take care of our neighbor.
Yeah.
The ability
to take care of one another, not just
to know how a community and how larger, how to
not
be,
just like die for something like not just keep on dying for more money and all that stuff.
I agree. Yeah, this whole war and occupation thing. I mean, occupation as in occupying foreign territories for whatever it is that's going on, for being over in overseas policies, isn't working. We were told certain things of why we were going to occupy and oversee lands, and sometimes we see that we can accomplish a mission, but the reason we went over there didn't actually permeate itself. It didn't actually permeate itself as being present there or being true while we were going there. And change.
Yeah, we have a covert foreign policy now that you know has a blowback on the society, and I think what we are witnessing here with these occupation movements is an attempt to awaken ourselves to these blowbacks that our society is facing. You know, a very obvious elephant in the room is, you know, spending billions on a war when we can't feed, you know, people that are hungry.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree with you guys 100%
Sure.
on that, because billions. I don't even know if trillions are spent on all. I've heard this. I don't know if it's true or not. But for each bullet, I've heard $1 spent. I don't know if it's true or not. But for wars and all that stuff, is that true?
I don't know. I've never heard that statistic, but
it wouldn't surprise me on that kind of type of those types of statistics. $1 for every bullet.
Yeah.
I mean, that wouldn't surprise me, but I would love to see that fact show its face. I would love to see the fact.
I've heard from people. I don't know if it's from statistics or not, but I had heard it from people. So it's from words going around.
Sure.
So.
And yeah, the words that are going around are concerns that people are digging up themselves and that have made them passionate enough to come out and speak. And we need to have everything that is actually factual about what we're spending our resources on, where our resources are really going. And those who hold a lot of resources need to kind of let us know where they're going, because they represent us as a collective, because they're going and they're saying, well, United States of America. But if they're taking people who are wanting to speak out against, I guess, the corporatization of America, and they're locking them up, I don't think what they're doing is actually representing Americans. Because if we did have a voice, it would be being heard right now on a large-scale basis and being discussed about. If the resources were put on the table and we knew, and they were actually truly representing the people, then I don't think we could have what we're facing right now, with a lot of people coming outside and wanting to voice their discouragement about our resources being spent negligently and not really representing the people that they're giving them to and taking them from.
I think you'll find like not really any clear, concise statements of, that summarize why we're all here and what this is really actually about in a very, like formal way. But I think there are certain themes that get brought up over and over again just when you hear people talking. And what Ant was talking about, I think, can be summed up with the word transparency, applied to our corporate institutions, applied to our government, our military. And we just want to know. We just want to know the truth about what's going on.
And about this transparency you're talking about, it goes back to open door policies. I am tired of closed door policies. I'm tired of committees talking. I mean, if a homeless person wants to go in and sit on our legislation and really start to listen to it, and then be able to go out there and start saying, hey guys, this is what they discussed today, and this is their plan of actions. How do y'all feel about that? I would love for those who, are, because there are a lot of us, and we're all looking to do something. Let's listen. Let's listen to the facts that are on the table, that can be put on the table.
From all of this, if you could just get one thing to do, you could only get them to agree with one thing, what would that one thing be? Just a small, minor one thing.
Well, a small, minor one thing to get done.
Maybe just one thing, not smaller, minor.
Yeah.
How about,
because they don't agree on anything.
how about
They're politicians.
harmonizing our discomforts, talking harmoniously about our discomforts that we are facing? I would love to see that. I would love to see harmonial discussion. Harmonial discussions about our discomforts. Would love to see us be able to openly know what's on the table and speak about it. It will take a lot of patience with talking and listening, but we're willing. I will sit there 24 hours and listen to everybody ramble. I will sleep there. I will do everything that I need to listen to them continually and hear what they have to say. And then also be able to raise my hand and say, this is what I'm seeing it affect myself and these people also. And well, my community is everybody with a belly button. Yeah. And on a personal basis, my community is everybody with a belly button is in my family is affected. And if we start seeing it that we're humans with a heartbeat instead of humans with a paycheck or a class, anything like that, but we actually start seeing us as heartbeat people with belly buttons, doesn't care. Belly buttons go beyond color, and we all have a belly button. That's obvious. So if we can just start seeing it that we're all people and not a business. We are now at the point of productivity that we're making so much that we can actually sustain a people instead of this corporation. This corporation can still sustain not profits, but goods that are well maintained and well for the public.
Yeah, and also, it's a matter of, we can deal in these hypotheticals, but, the singularity, but there are so many singular events that are about to happen as a result of this consciousness shift that we are witnessing. And there's going to be so many singular items that will, if not change, they'll at least be on the minds of people maybe at the dinner table. Well, this group said this about, and I think I agree with them. These people might be conservatives or liberals, or they're gonna sit down and have more awareness, I think, of these various things that we're facing in our time.
I think what we're after right now, in a really big way, is just education and
Educating
discussion.
all the people.
Yeah, just we want to get as much information out to as many people, and to ourselves learn as much information as we can, so that we can take that and act on it. And that's not to say that we're not acting right now. We've got
that's what I mean.
We've got an action committee and we're planning things, but I think we're looking for. I think right now what we're looking for, more than anything else, is just discussion.
Could I ask you about this action committee? What is this action committee?
It meets every night. It's everything so far is pretty tentative, and nothing has been brought before the General Assembly. But if you're going to be around tonight, I'm sure they'd be fine with you sitting in. You're not you're doing this for a class, right? You're not like a journalist or anything.
No, I'm not a journalist at all.
Okay.
If I was, I would have been asking way more.
I would urge you to be here at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay, 7 p.m.
Unless you're hungry, and then come at 6.
Assembly every night.
And be prepared to sit for 2 hours
Yeah.
and listen to
Sometimes
a lot
longer,
of,
because
Yeah.
this is going to take a lot of patience
Yeah.
to hear
People want to
hear.
tell their story.
yeah.
and
Is
to
it people's personal stories?
Not so much at the General Assembly.
not so much as General Assembly. I mean, that's why we have soapboxes. I mean, we have freedom of speech. We are all speaking our personal stories. But
It's one thing I don't understand about this. Well, I'm pretty sure you've seen all this on news and well, actually they don't show us on news. Is when the Wall Street gets in trouble, they take it out of other people's wallets and stuff. That's not exactly the right word, but when we get in trouble, nothing like that happens.
we have the fund bill.
Yeah.
I mean, we should. I mean, they're okay. Use the word illegal. If we do something illegal, we have to face a court. We, the people, are the court. I mean, our Supreme Court should now be we, the people, a collective of all of our conscience, justifiably trying to find the truth and bring it to the people's eyes. That's what I think a lot of people really want, is the truth brought to the open, and those in power, those who these illegal practices are obviously signing the documents, to step out and tell us why. And if they don't want to say why, then let us come in and tell them why we want it done. And how we want it done. If they don't want to explain themselves, then okay, don't explain yourself, but step away, because you need to. It's not working what's going on. And we need to look at our facts as a country. We need to start looking at the facts that we have, that we're facing economical crisis, and our facts of production-wise, our factories, what's being sold, what goods are being given to countries, for what reasons, and transparency. Let's bring the open door policy back so we can begin to figure this out. Because right now we're all mad. And yes, we're gonna have emotion, but we can be civil. We're trying to be very civilized about. We don't want it to actually. We don't want a system to collapse. We want a system to open up with us. We want a system that's open. I don't want it to be.
Yes.
I don't want it to be chaotic. I don't want it to be harmful to those who have. I don't want it to be harmful to a human being. I don't want to hurt people. I want them to be educated.
Yeah.
Education brings a sense of not ego, not pride, but comfort in the surrounding area. And really, a lot of people aren't comfortable anywhere. I feel anywhere. If you can say you're comfortable with what you're doing, as in you think it will sustain a healthy and future prospect, I'm not going to say that's an illusion. I'm going to ask, can you please portray to me how that opinion is?
Also, we're sponsored by Pepsi, as you can see. No, I'm just
Sponsored
kidding.
by Pepsi?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No?
I'm sorry. That was a joke.
Yeah, that was completely just,
A joke.
a joke. We are not, we are sponsored by the people's voice. We are sponsored by our hearts.
Yeah, I think that there needs to be more people involved. That's what I think, so that the words could be spread out and stuff. Is there any other people happening in other places like Cedar Rapids?
I'm sure there are. I'm sure
Yeah,
there are.
there's
a lot of people getting
Occupy Des Moines, which was shut down by the police. Do you know if they
Shut down by the
reassembled?
police?
Oh, they definitely reassembled.
Yep, so they're back. I just saw last night on Facebook that Occupy Cedar Falls is trying to
So
get started.
So let me ask you this: the police are stopping you guys from doing this?
Not here,
not
no,
here.
not here. We
Not in
have
Iowa
had
City.
wonderful cooperation with the government and
Okay.
the police.
The Daily Iowan today, the headline on the front page was "Peace in Iowa City, 30 arrested in Des Moines." So there is quite a contrast just 2 hours down the road.
And Des Moines is really, I mean, that makes sense because Des Moines is a much more politically charged and confrontational environment than what we have here. There's a lot of, obviously government at the capital and a lot of business interests that are centered in Des Moines. And I think Des Moines is really the, what's the word? Des Moines is kind of the pinnacle of what we're doing in this state. And obviously Wall Street is the pinnacle of what the whole movement is doing. And I haven't actually had an opportunity to get out there, but I would love to.
I actually haven't even had a chance to see all five. The only three places I've been going in Iowa: Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, and Corvallis. That's why I asked you Cedar Rapids if it's happening there.
I'll just let you all know about me. I haven't owned a cell phone in 7 years. I haven't been a part of the system because I'm from Hurricane Katrina. I'm from Louisiana, and the way that the government came in and saw people as expendable, in my eyes, that people were just, they were now, there's a destroyed infrastructure and we can disperse them, and I chose not to participate with a system that saw human beings as not
as important.
Not as important
Yeah.
than the land they want to reap the resources from.
Yeah. Not just that, people, I don't know if you've heard or not, but the houses which got destroyed and stuff, if people didn't pay off all of their money, those were taken. Those were taken from them. How are they going to pay off?
There was a lot of theft down there.
Yeah, and it was just all corruption.
I chose to walk away
Yeah.
from all of it and no longer participate in finding, I look for jobs. I look for jobs on farms. I got my own issues with farms. I also have,
Put cigarette butts in here.
I decided to come out and start talking and meeting and just meeting people and discussing just how what makes them a person? What makes their heart beat? What does their heart beat for? And it's led me to 6 years, continue walking around. A month ago, I was in New York State, but the hurricane pushed me to continue travel my travels west, and I was led here. The reason I'm not traveling anymore is because I see this as a viable issue that I need to sit down and start listening to the people even more and hear why they're stepping away from their time with their families, their jobs, social time, to come here and put their concerns and their hearts in the voice. And I know Occupy Wall Street was the beginning of a large group of people realizing there was a problem, and they got fed up and decided to come out and make a voice begin. Make a voice begin to be able to make a voice begin, showing that we're discouraged. We feel that we're not being treated correctly.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are hidden from the general public that we are right now we're coming together to try to educate ourselves on. Like Occupy Wall Street, you know, if they got someone from the private sector to help them learn things that would really help that movement. We're trying to do the same thing in terms of education, you know, fractional reserve banking and all of these things, you know, that construct the society that we have now, that a lot of people, 90% of these
depend on.
99%, they depend on it, but they also depend on a system that is unjust to them. And so so that is what this is about, really, is a sort of solidarity, coming together and realizing that we all pretty much want the same thing. And we think that there is an unequal playing field to be able to achieve these things, you know, peace and being able to have equality and to be able to have a, you know, good living if you have a family or you're by yourself, you know, just to be able to have a good, safe living.
Would you, this is, I don't think it's related to this, but I've heard some, like, people from that I know, close friends and stuff, like, the U.S. is a capitalist country and stuff, so would you have, like, any concern or anything if it changed from that to socialism or something else?
These isms. Okay, first of all, I don't ever comprehend them because I see people as people. Capitalist, socialist, conservative, liberalist, Republican, what? I don't care. You're a person.
Oh, Johnny. Person, yeah.
And we have certain moral human principles to respect each other by, no matter who you worship.
The reason I asked this question was because, like, in capitalism, the main thing is profits.
Profits should be in our health, not in our pocketbooks. Profits need to be about how the education is actually educating a forward progress. That is profit, because then we profit of conscious thought that is forward.
Yeah, I think when you get into isms, you get into ideals, and so I don't think that we're necessarily, I mean, a lot of people here are anti-capitalist because we're in a capitalist system that, like John said, we depend on, but that also doesn't serve our interests. It's sort of a mousetrap system that we're living in, but capitalism as an ideal, I don't think really supports or agrees with that. It's just a system of progress, and I think socialism is a system of progress, and any sort of government is just trying to organize people towards this ideal of progress. But within any system, there's potential for corruption, and
it's gone on too far.
And yeah, and I think we've seen that again and again with revolutions and counter-revolutions that don't lead anywhere, because there's always this element of greed and corruption. And so that's, I think, what we're really fighting against, is just the greed and the underlying side effects that come along with human nature that we need to find a way to control and sort of manage within our system. I don't know that anybody here would say that their ultimate goal is, the overthrow of our government or anything like that. I think we're really more of just...
Well, there's no one opinion. There's no, okay, so the criticism is that, there's no message, there's no central theme. We're not protesting one singular thing.
Yeah, the reason I asked that is because that was one of the questions. That's the only reason that I asked.
Oh yeah, and I think like the first thing that people should know is that we have no intentions of being anything but peaceful and respectful to our police. A police officer came in this morning. He was a nice guy. Checked on us, and no one was hostile. No one, because he wasn't hostile. And as long as we all just want to be respectful of our surroundings and the people around us, who, and the proverbial system that we are involved with.
Yeah. Somebody last night, or I think it was last night or the night before at General Assembly, said. They stood up and said, the police force is part of the 99%. Like, all these people are workers, and they're part of us, and we need to treat them as such. And everybody in the General Assembly hands up in agreement, which we have like hand signals for when we're doing our official dialogues.
Go talk to them.
What is what? We're not sure what that porta potty. We've been trying to
We're not sure why porta potty's here today. Why?
Huh?
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Well, we had.
What?
I don't know why it hadn't shown up. I mean, it might be a porta potty. Awesome.
Well,
We need help.
1 second.
Anything else? Grab the back end.
You got it all right?
You good? All right.
Try to get it in the shade. These things get hot. All right, right here. Yeah.
This is monumental.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Let's find a little spot.
Yeah, I love the spot.
All right. Let's drag it 10 feet. Let's get it further from the road.
Yeah.
Agree with that.
You have to go get too far then.
How far is the pumping truck trying to go?
He's got about 50 some foot. So
Should we be able to reach it?
Okay. Should be able to. Otherwise, he'll spin it around. But if you need it clean sooner or something like that, just call that number. We don't like stuff sitting out. I mean, there's a lot of people here that looks bad or something. It gets full.
And then what do we, I suppose we need to figure out some sort of security thing. I feel like on weekends.